Hey gang, so we've got the right hand side. We've got our cloud, we've got our unicorn, we've got our goal, and here on the left hand side we've just got this text that says div1. We're going to start by with the easy part, which is this data display. And actually I think you should just pause the video now and see if you can make this happen. Come back, I'll do it as well. But you should be able to pass all these values in as props, and we should be able to see them in this data display. We're going to have to make this achieved goal value in state. But just go ahead and pause and see if you can do it, and then I'm going to go do it now. All right, so where's that code? We need a here in where this now says div1. We're going to get rid of that. And in here, we're going to have a data display. And we'll pass those props in a minute. Well, actually, we could just go ahead and do it now, right? Let's pass in, let's actually make an object and pass each of those values in. Each key of this object, if the key and the value is the same, you only need to put the thing once. So here I pass in hero position as hero position, and cloud position as cloud position, goal position as goal position. And then I can just say data. I'll pass in a prop called data and just say data. And that just makes everything look a little tidier, right? Right. So now we need to make this data display and import it. And here in my components, make a folder called data display. And one of the things I think is great about doing tutorials like this is you just get practice doing this stuff until it is no longer intimidating. In fact, it gets a little bit boring. And that's important. It's important to get to that phase so that you feel confident doing new things, your own things. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to start with the CSS this time, and maybe we'll start with the JavaScript, and then we'll style it. And so I'm going to import React, and I'm going to go ahead, even though they don't exist, I'm going to go ahead and we know they're going to exist. We'll import those styles from data display .module.css. And then we'll say we'll make a stateless functional component called data display. We know that's going to bring in data. We're going to destructure that. We're going to destructure data off of the props, and we're going to use that data in here. We'll make a div, and let's say inside that div we'll have, so let's take a look. This whole thing will be a div, and I'm going to put inside of that div, I'm going to make a flexbox. That'll be a column, and it'll line these things up. And so inside that flexbox div, we're going to have, I think they'll probably both be flexboxes as a matter of fact. Inside the interior div, we'll have 3 P tags, and it'll look like this. Make a div, and we'll make a P, and we'll make a P, and actually we could do this more efficiently with Emmet, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it like this. So we'll say class name. This one we're going to call data wrapper. Oops, it keeps wanting to do that style sheet. So we're going to pull that data wrapper off of there. And then for the interior one, we'll call this data container. So the wrapper will be, surrounding it, and the container will be the container. And then for each one of these p tags, we'll give them a class name of data item. Now inside of here, we're going to actually put the data. And so I'm gonna just use template literal syntax, and I'll say hero position, and I'll have an X value and a Y value. So inside of these interior curly braces after the $ is where I can get hero position dot X and hero position dot Y. Now there is no hero position, it's telling me. There's no hero position, right? Because I've got data. So what I need to do is destructure that. And what I'll do is just say hero position, cloud position, and we actually don't need the goal position. It's not going to move, right? So that's not going to be very interesting to see. But you can see there's going to be one more item there. And that item we're going to call achieved goal. And we'll see that in a sec. I'll just go ahead and make that in my app now. We'll add to state. An achieved goal. So that'll keep track of whether the goal's been reached or not. And that's what's going to create the transformation in our character. We'll initialize that to false. And then we need to pass that in our data object. So we'll destructure that from state and add it to our list of data. So now all that data is going in. All that data is being destructured. Oh, not quite yet. And that's just going to be data. So we're going to pull those off of data. And now we can do basically the same thing for our cloud position. I'll just copy and paste. Change that to cloud. 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 And in here we'll just say so now we've got all that stuff. It's being shown, and let's just see if it's export default data display. Okay, so now we need to import that into our app. Import data display. Can't resolve data display.module.css. Oh. There we go. So now we don't have any styling, but let's just see if we've got some stuff. That's the wrong one. There we go. So now we've got our data. Look at that. Data's coming in. Hopefully yours looks the same. Now we just add some quick styling to it. And what we're going to do is center this, give it a different color and a background, and I'll like that. So we'll go to data display.module.css, and we'll start with that outermost div, data wrapper. And like I said, we'll make this a flex box. We'll say flex direction column. Align items center. Right, width will be 85% of the enclosing div, its enclosing div. I'm going to give it a margin bottom so we can have some separation with the buttons that are going to be below. And our background color can be 25, 105, 105. So kind of that dark green color. We'll say color. We'll let we don't need the color there. We'll say give it some padding always, almost always. Let's give it a margin and a border radius to make it nice and roundy. Now let's take a look. That's where we're headed. Let's see what we got. So you can see we're partway there. We've got our enclosing div. We want to style this color, and maybe we want to, what I did was I made it so these were aligned, center aligned rather than left aligned, which I think is a nice little touch. The devil is in the details with a website, and here's how we do that. We'll say data container, and this again can be a interior flex box, and we'll say align items center, justify content, space between. Let's take a look again. Oh, that's not correct. What did I do wrong here? Data container, did I forget to use that? Data container. Oh, I think I know what it is. So now we'll go to our p tag or data item, and let's give it that white color. Give it some padding, and make it margin 0 auto, and that should clear us up. Let's see. Poopsie doops. What did I do here? What did I do? Well, I'm gonna have to fix this in the next video. I know there must be a little typo I made here somewhere. But I'll start by fixing this at the beginning of the next video, and we'll move on to this hero controls, which will be a lot more interesting and challenging, and may actually take 2 videos.